Vanakkam, Namaste and blessings to everyone. This is Dr. Bhairavi Balasubramaniam, PhD, the Sky Priestess. So, we are just hours away from the new moon in Aquarius. And Aquarius's energy is one that actually allows us to go to a far more deeper, far more subtle level in our spiritual work. Rather than looking at situations on the face value, it allows us to go to the level of the energetic blueprint that allows situations and energies to play out in our lives in the way that they do. This is where we do five-dimensional facilitation work, like negotiating karmic contracts, like talking with your guides, like giving yourself permission to let go of karmic patterns that no longer serve. And that is exactly what is happening with this new moon. But what is also happening is that this is a time where a lot of old templates, old karma, old forces, old paradigms, old people, or people carrying those codes are coming to the fore and are trying to reset or recreate energetic patterns that no longer serve the collective. And there is a very, very strong astrological reason for this. The new moon itself is basically at 15 degrees Aquarius. But it is occupying a very, very special point right now. You see, the new moon is the midpoint of two other extraordinarily powerful bodies in the sky. One is, of course, Saturn at 15 degrees Capricorn and Neptune at 15 degrees Pisces. So it's smack bang between the two. So as the new moon activates the midpoint of Saturn and Neptune, what we really see here is the opportunity to create new structures, new energetic templates for our being. We are creating a literal, or I should say an etheric, which then becomes a literal bridge between matter and between spirit. So during this new moon, we have the opportunity to really set intentions and, how do I put it, energetically align ourselves with a blueprint that resonates with the highest and deepest good for us as individuals and for us as a collective. And different people do so in different ways. Sometimes it's sitting in prayer and just surrendering yourself to what you understand as divinity. Sometimes for a seasoned facilitator or practitioner, it is about going to that level and speaking to these aspects of creative source energy and asking them to work with you in specific ways. If you are unfamiliar with this work, stick to what works right now. Stick to your guns and stick to what you know. And there is another reason for this. Saturn at 15 degrees Capricorn is also conjunct asteroid Atlantis at 15 degrees Capricorn as well. And for those of you who do work with past life regressions, you would know that whilst this is a place of great power, Atlantis also held codes that created seeds of the fall, so to speak. So it is very much a double-edged sword. And whilst there are many well-intentioned people out there who would like to bring back old ways of magic and old paradigms of engaging with energy, remember that things fall for a reason. If something was truly in alignment with our highest and deepest good as a collective, it would have survived. So for those of you who are working with old magics and old ways of connecting with energies and contracts and so on, please do bear this in mind. So Saturn and Atlantis create a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, and whilst that is a very exciting and a very titillating prospect for some, remember that a lot of energies appear in false lights. And I have written about the false light phenomenon in the past on my blog, and I would encourage you to read that if you are in doubt. Sometimes bringing back something that is old, that seems twinkly and sparkly and so on and so forth might be very tempting, but that might be the very opposite of what you actually need to do at this time. And sometimes the hardest thing, which is another lesson of Neptune, is to actually let go or detach from old paradigms, old memories, old past lives, old forms of magic that simply no longer resonate with the new frequencies of consciousness that come in. And so balancing the two out, Saturn and Atlantis wanting to bring old templates of magic and power back into reality, Neptune that is giving you kind of a, double-headed, well, you can go for delusion or you can go for clarity. How do you find it? How do you see it? In between the two, there we have, right at the pivot point, this new moon. So it is extraordinarily charged in a spiritual sense. And For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know what I'm like. I don't talk about things from theory. I talk about it from lived experience, and I've seen enough to know that a lot of facilitators are also being affected by this energy. So at this time, it is truly best to stick to your guns. It is about sitting with the earth. It is about sitting with the consciousness of Mother Gaia that has kept you alive for so long. It is about sitting with the energy of guides, and you need to specify this, benevolent beings. It is about allowing yourself to discern wisely and deeply and choose what it is you wish to create, what template you wish to add to what is being woven into the collective at this time. Now, because of this alignment, Saturn sextile Neptune activated by the midpoint of the new moon, anyone with anything near 15 degrees Leo is going to experience a powerful yod. That is also known as a finger of fate or a finger of God, goddess, divinity, call it what you want. Individuals with this placement will experience a powerful kind of a crossroad type event at an energetic level. It may be a bit too subtle to see in the 3D for some, but it's happening. This is a time where, especially if you've got anything at 15 degrees Leo, you will be asked to choose. Do you lead by example? Do you lead by a sense of authority? Do you lead by ego? Do you lead by intuition? Are you able to look at what it is you feel and discern as to whether it comes from your mind, your heart, your ego, or a part of yourself that craves validation or recognition? Now, of course, this is also a very powerful potential for people with that alignment to go forth and create truly inspiring, truly gifted, truly empowering projects, creative expressions in the world that can inspire other people. This is a time to be supporting anyone really who wants to come forth and make something new in the world. But it is very important to discern what place they are coming at it with. Now, I don't normally talk about this because a lot of people get very excited when I do. This is also a time for people with, how should I put it, more porous energetic boundaries to be very mindful as to what kind of other forms of consciousness or fields of interaction that they allow into their space. Again, there are many things out there that appear to be glowing and glittering and beautiful and shiny, and you open it up and you wish you didn't go there. Please do look up the false light phenomenon if you are in doubt. Not everything that glitters is gold. This is a lesson to underline at this time. So at a practical level, I would ask you to keep your minds open, your hearts open, and your base chakra very, very firmly connected to the earth. Look at what comes at you, and remember that even if something negative does come at you, even if something is disguised as something that you want, and you kind of look at it and go, well, really, is this really truly what I'm looking for? Whatever comes your way, it is giving you an opportunity to respond to the situation in a way that actually ends up creating the template you wanted in the first place. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, I know some of this information might go way over your heads if you're not doing this work, but really, this is something that every facilitator who works with energy and magic needs to be aware of at the time of this new moon. There are, of course, other things happening in the skies. There always are. But what I would say with this alignment is, don't overdo it. Don't try to save the planet all at once. Don't try to restructure the universe all at once. If something comes bearing gifts, ask why. If something wants to level up your energy very, very, very quickly and in ways that take you away from your sense of sovereignty and selfhood, ask why. This is a very, very powerful time for us all. Do not give into collective forms of groupthink. Whilst we are all acting together in concert to raise the level of collective consciousness, the collective consciousness itself has its own shadow, and it is important to not run away from it, but to not allow yourself to get sucked into it as well. So on that note, I just want you to be very mindful about the energies, the people, the ideas, and the wavelengths of consciousness that come your way, and to stay open and discerning to things. Not everything is what it looks to be on the surface. So always, always ask yourselves, what am I seeing? And am I seeing what is truly there? Am I seeing what I want to see? Even this act of discernment if all of you do it, if everyone does it in their own way, even this creates a ripple and change in consciousness. So it's still a win-win situation if you learn how to see it in a certain way. Now, beyond that, I would also like to add that Venus is in Capricorn. This is a good time for us to think about what are the values by which we want to restructure and create a world worth living in. This is a time for us to also be honoring the sense of femininity that moves through all beings, and that is not limited to a particular sexual form. The divine feminine moves through objects, it moves through people, it moves through trees and rocks and brooks and springs. It's not about whether you were born with, a pair of testes or ovaries or both or neither. It is about an archetype. If you are in doubt, go back to your roots. Consider if whatever you are doing is helping you create a world in which the values that you uphold, the values that feel truest to your soul, are indeed honored. So that is a good way for you to ground back, especially at this time of intensely high energetic activation. And for those of you who celebrate the Chinese New Year, Happy Year of the Pig. That's about it. Take care, many blessings, much love to everyone. Stay aware, stay alert, and let's manifest something powerful, beautiful, aligned, and true to our individual hearts and the heart of the collective. Bye-bye for now.